Hi everyone, and welcome to lesson 3 of week 8, and we are focusing on open and closed shapes. So before we get started, we will do our maths warm-up activity, and you can use a whiteboard and a marker or a piece of paper and a pencil. Okay, so let's take a look. This is doubles. So Eli and Zach are twins. Zach has 6 sweets. Can you double them so that Eli has the same amount? How many sweets are there altogether? So on a piece of paper, I'd like you to have a go at working this one out. You might also just know your doubles of 6. However, I would still like you to have a go at showing your working out on a piece of paper. Once you've done that, you can come back and we will work it out together. Okay, so let's take a look. We have our 6 sweets here that Zach has. We'll just count them to double check. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we need to double 6. So we need to add another 6. And those 6 go to Eli. So let's take a look. And we could also put 6 in our head and then count on. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I've added another 6. 6 and 6 is 12. So altogether, we have 12 sweets. Well done, everyone. Okay, teddy bear's picnic. Now listening to the question, how many buns can the bears have? How many sweets can the bears have each? So you need to look at our buns, which are our cupcakes, and then look at how many sweets there are. How many teddy bears are there? And we need to make sure they're both getting the same amount. It needs to be equal. So on a piece of paper, you can try and work this out to the best of your ability and then come back and we'll do it together. Okay, so let's take a look. We can have 2 buns each and 3 sweets each. Now, how did we get to that answer? So let's look at our cupcakes. We've got, well, our buns, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I have 2 teddy bears. So I'm just going to draw lines to their bellies so we can see I've got 1 here, 1 to here. I'm going to put 1 here and 1 there. So each bear is getting 2 buns each. Now let's count our sweets and we need to share them. So I'm going to do that in purple and I'm going to drag them to their bellies. 1 for Big Ted, 1 for Little Ted, 2 for Big Ted, 2 for Little Ted, 3 for Big Ted, and then 3 for Little Ted. So altogether I had 6 sweets and then I've got 2 teddy bears. So each teddy bear is getting 3 sweets each. Okay, well done everyone. Now here you need to fill in the missing numbers. Now as you can see they're all different. Some are starting, this one's starting at 1 and then I've got this one starting at 4, this one's starting at 5 and I actually don't know which one this is starting at. So I need to look at the next number and I can see that it's 4. So I could think what comes before 4. So altogether you have 1, 2, 3, 4 problems to solve. So you can write in the missing numbers on a piece of paper and then come back and we'll look at it together. Okay, so let's take a look. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that was just going up from 1 to all the way to 7. Now here we're starting at 4 this time. So I'm just going to count on from 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, fantastic. Let's look at the next one. starting from 5 this time. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And for my last one, we had 4 there, but we didn't know what came first. And what was first was 3, and we're counting on. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Fantastic job, everyone. It's good to practice counting on and also starting at different numbers. Okay, so our learning intention for today is that we are learning to identify 2D shapes that are open and closed. And our success criteria is that I can identify and describe if a 2D shape is open or closed. So let's take a look. Now, before we get started, we're going to listen to a song all about 2D shapes. So you might like to sing along.
Draw a circle in the air. Draw a triangle in the air.
I see shapes. I see shapes, shapes, shapes. Everywhere I go, I see lots of shapes. Do you know what I am? Say my name if you can. I have 4 sides, they're all the same. If you know my name, you're good at this game. What am I? You're a square. Do you know what I am? Say my name if you can. I have 4 sides, like a square, but 2 sides are shorter, and I don't care. What am I? You're a rectangle.
Draw a square in the air. Draw a rectangle in the air.
I see shapes. I see shapes, shapes, shapes. Everywhere I go, I see lots of shapes.
Circle,
Circle,
triangle,
triangle,
square,
square,
rectangle,
rectangle,
circle, triangle, square, rectangle.
circle, triangle, square, rectangle.
Circle, triangle, square, rectangle.
Shapes are everywhere. I see shapes. I see shapes, shapes, shapes. Everywhere I go, I see lots of shapes.
If you enjoyed that song, everyone. Okay, so let's take a look at what are open and closed shapes. Now, open shapes have a gap or gaps in between. Sides of an open shape do not meet. Closed shapes have no openings or gaps. Sides of closed shapes can be traced from start to finish. So let's take a look at what these may look like. Now what you can do, you can either write whether the shape is open or closed, or you can just say it out loud with me. Open or closed. Now my first one here, is it open or is it closed? It is open. You can see here that there is a gap. Now what about this one? It is closed, because if you go, you could trace all the way around it. Let's take a look. Look. And here we have no gaps and no openings. What about my moon? Is it open or is it closed? Well done. It is closed. There are no gaps. What about this shape? It is open, and you can see that there is a big gap or opening at the top. This shape, open or closed? Great job. It is open, and you can see right here there is a big gap. What about my next shape? Fantastic. It is closed. You could go all the way around it by tracing, and there are no gaps and no openings. What about this shape? Open or closed? Great job. It is closed. There are no gaps. What about my next shape? Fantastic. It is open, and you can see that here there is a gap. Okay, what about these two shapes? What about my first one, my circle? Is it open or is it closed? Great job. It is closed. There are no gaps. What about my triangle? Fantastic. It is closed. You can see that there are no gaps in my triangle. What about these two shapes? My first one, good job. It is open, and we can see that there's a big gap. And what about my next one? Great job. It is also open, because here it does not join, or here you can see that if we just keep going around and around and around, it is staying open. Well done, everyone. So what we're going to do now is create open and closed lines. And what you will need to do is find 4 different materials or objects that you can use to create an open shape and a closed shape. Now, before you get started, you can take a look at what I have created. And these are things that I found around my house. So here I have a skipping rope. And here you can see that I created a closed shape, and then I created an open shape. Look at this, you've got around, and then I've got a big gap here. So I've got a closed shape and an open shape. Now here I use some pencils, and my first one, you can see that it is closed. There are no gaps. And on my second one, you can see that it is open, because there is a big gap here. So I've got my closed shape and an open shape, and I made those out of pencils. Now you can also see that I have used some sticks here. And on my first one, it is a closed shape, and I used a triangle. I created a triangle. And here you can see that there are no gaps. And my next one is open. So I still used my 3 sticks, 1, 2, 3, but I have left a big opening and a big gap. So this shape is open. Okay, so here you can see that I've created an open shape and a closed shape, but I used my hands. So on my first one, it is closed because I created a circle and I joined it with my fingertips just here. And then on my second one, I've kept it open. So I'm still using my fingers and my arms, but I've got some open lines. So now, boys and girls, you can go on a hunt around your house and you can create open lines and closed lines. And then you can either draw those or take some photos and post them on our week 8 completed work document. Okay, let's move on. Now it's your turn, and what you can do is write down on a piece of paper if these shapes are open or closed. So we've got 14 of them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Now the way you could write this on a piece of paper is you could write question 1, that's question 1, and instead of writing open or closed, because that could take a long time, you can just write the first letter of that word. So question 1, is it open or is it closed? It is closed. So I'm just going to do a C. Now here for question 2, I might then put number 2, and then is it open or is it closed? It is closed. Good job. So then I would just write a C. So you can do that on a piece of paper, or you could type that straight into your week 8 completed work doc. Okay, so just before we finish off, boys and girls, we'll go over our learning intention and success criteria. Now, our learning intention was that we are learning to identify 2D shapes that are open and closed. And our success criteria was that I can identify and describe if the 2D shape is open or closed. Now, I'm going to give ourselves a big tick for that, because we did that when we were looking at the open and closed shapes and you were telling me if they were open or closed. We were also doing that when we went on our hunt around our house to find open and closed lines, and you were creating shapes of those. And just then when you completed the worksheet. So well done, everyone, and we can't wait to see what you've come up with. I'll see you next time. Bye.